Well, the votes are in. I put up a thing on Northeast Derby Supply and I watched your guys' comments, and believe it or not, it was almost a draw, just about 50%. Some guys told me Avalon because, you know, stock class, the bumper shit, but at least you don't have those factory crush boxes and the back ends are half decently strong. And then everybody's telling me, oh, Lumina's, the crush boxes are not that bad. You change out the bumper to a newer style bumper, but I'm not allowed to swap a bumper at all. Some people are telling me tie rods, but I don't really see a big issue with factory Camry tie rods or Lumina tie rods. But the vote came in, and as you see, the Lumina is outside and the Avalon is inside. So we got 1 week to basically build this. I'd like to move all the wiring up from the front of this car into the interior. I'm going to take the hood off. I'm going to take out all the glass. Probably that's what I'm going to start doing today, is just the glass and the hood, and maybe start the wiring. Now when you're doing these, your most important part is actually the ground that is right behind this. Now on normal Camrys they're right here, but this is not a normal Camry, it's back farther. So we're going to get the hood off. We're going to start getting the glass out, and that's about it, to be honest. We're going to remove stuff like this that we don't need. We're going to put a radiator inside of it and pretty much just go have fun. Last night I finished up cutting up the glass, vacuuming up the glass, and then I got the dash out. But honestly, it's so hot, it kills the batteries inside my camera. I ended up cutting myself half decent. And if you notice, all the doors were closed. It's because it's actually colder inside this shop with zero air movement than it is outside in the sun. So what we're doing today, as you can see, I got the front end off the ground. We're going to pull the tires off of it, pull all the electrical back from through the dash, and then replug it all back in. It's going to be a little bit of a wiring day today. This Avalon is a little bit different than the V6 Toyota Camrys in the wiring aspect. It looks like a lot of things don't go all the way across. The one that comes across the top of the rad support actually does nothing except basically headlights and blinkers. So that can all be refished up all the way up to the front. It honestly looks like this car is going to be a little bit easier electrical than a regular V6 Toyota Camry because it all is not one unit. I can trace half of it back and then trace half of it back. I'd really like to get this into the interior But if I can't get it all the way to the interior, I would settle with it up here in the wiper cowl, just to get it up out of the way. We're going to pull the fenders off of the car, pull all this wiring back through the fenders, and then find a way to plug it back in as well. You need to plug it all back in for it to work, obviously. We are going to hot wire the starter so that it's a push button, but we're going to leave the main power right through the key. The old intake swap out seems to be working, but I got to build a block off plate, so I'm going to probably cut this off and then glue it on somehow. I'm not sure, because I need to close off a little bit of the air so that more air goes through the sensor. I think there was something inside the actual air breather that did that inside the car. This side here looks a lot easier to fish back. So we'll pull all this side back and see if I can get everything from this side inside the car, which would be nice. It would be very nice. But it's just going to take some mucking around, some time. I'm going to pull off stuff like this that I don't need. Yeah, pretty much just go from there. So I'm going to get going on this. I'm not going to do the time lapse because the heat just kills the battery. So we'll see you guys back here in a bit. If I come across any problems, I'll let you guys know. Well, we've come across our first problem. You want me to show you guys? So I've kind of thrown out the locking tool to get this off of. So what we're going to do, all these are 21 mil to get these off, but we're going to find the one that fits the tightest. 20 mil, you want a 12-point socket. This is a 19 mil, so we're just going to pound it on. Now you don't want to use an impact for this, and you really only get one chance. You want to pound it on. Oh, I gotta bring this thing down so it's on the ground. You only get really one chance, so you want to make sure that you get a good one. And just like that. So there you go. You basically use the 12-point socket as a friction fit over top of the socket. So that's how you get those off when you don't have the tool. Let's keep going. Well, I've taken the time and I've pulled all the wiring out of the fenders. I brought it straight up through here into the wiper cowl. It was sort of my backup plan. I wanted to get it all into the inside, but I said if I couldn't, I'd like to get it in the wiper cowl. So it's all in the wiper cowl as of right now. Still have all the cluster hooked up, and then that right there tells me engine lights, so I can actually scan this thing and see what's going on, which is a great thing. You know what? These OBD2 cars, if they're not running right, it throws an engine code, you scan it, you find out the issue, you fix it. So by having all this in, hopefully I can still scan it and figure out an issue. So I've removed everything out of the driver's side fender, which was actually a lot harder than the passenger side. Passenger side just pulled right back. It was quite easy. But you guys ready for the moment of truth? Oh, I hear power going places. Can't turn the key off because I can't take it out of park. Sorry, I had to drive. Oh. And it runs. Uh-oh. No engine lights on, so that's a good sign. Tells me which direction I'm facing and all that fun stuff. Even tells me the date. It's not January though. So this thing's running great. Other than the rod knock. It's having an issue idling. I know exactly what the issue is. There's not enough air going through the sensor, so I have to fix that before it goes in. Or just turn up the idle, one or the other. So that is fantastic. Car is running. All wiring is moved. Now I can just clean it up with some more zip ties, some spray foam, that kind of stuff. So we are doing great. This car's come along great. What's left to do now? Well, I can't really do anything in the front except put a radiator back in. Tires, drop gas tank, put gas tank in, put battery on the inside, cover the sunroof, put a front window bar in, and tie doors shut. That's pretty much all I can do now. So we are in great shape for this derby coming up. I think the Avalon's gonna make it. Project XXL is coming along great. Is it double XL or single XL? I think it's extra large. But no, well, Project Extra Large is coming along great. I'm pretty ecstatic. Oh, that's probably hitting off the belt right there. I should move that back up. Yeah, there you go. Stock as stock can be. Gonna see how this goes. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.